Today we're going to do something different. I will give you a tour of my studio. Now, as a disclaimer, my studio, it's not organized, it's pretty much a mess, but it's just the way it looks in pretty much everyday life. And this is a working studio, this is where I do my work, so that means things are not always where they should be. The reason why I want to make this video is because I really enjoy seeing other people's studio. I get ideas from it. And the main reason why I want to make this video is because in the next few months I will be changing a lot in here, and I want to optimize it a little bit better, and there will be a lot of changes, and I'll be like kind of like a mini series where I will show you as I'm doing new things. I want to show you what I'm upgrading and what I'm doing different. And for example, next week I will install one of those 3 rolls of papers that is like, paper roll backgrounds that will be replacing this background behind me. And that way I can use paper backgrounds a lot easier. I will have the really big 107-inch ones. And I will show you once that is done. I will show you what it looks like and how I use it. But for now, just a quick tour of the studio so you see what we are starting with. So I am going to get off the camera and then I'll turn on all the lights in the studio. By the way, the video is probably going to be a little bit shaky and all because I'm just going to film with my iPhone as I'm walking around, and this is just a quick preview so you see what we are starting with, and then hopefully we'll see the end finish in a few months when the studio will gonna be done. So I'm gonna go turn on the lights and we'll start the tour. So here is where you're entering the studio. And this is the door that will take you into the bathroom. Then over here on the left side on this shelf with 2 rollers, I have my bigger backdrops. This is 2x3 backdrops, solid backdrops that I often use for photography. In this other side, I have this other stand that is meant for architectural drawings, and it's holding my large vinyl backdrops. So all of them are rolled up in here, and then I also have some paper backdrops. Next to it, I have more 2x2 backdrops. I don't use this one so much just because they're a little bit small, but when I do use them, they are here. Moving on into the studio, I have a steamer because I do use cloth backdrops quite a lot. And when you do that, you do need to use a steamer. So this is the steamer I use. And then as we are entering the studio, I have this desk. This is where I'm videotaping my videos. Not the ones where I'm editing photos, but the ones where I'm talking. And what we have here is a chair, a tiny desk. And then we have my camera. My camera is on a tripod with the iFootage Nano rail. Sometimes I use the rail, sometimes I do not. And then I have my Sony microphone. I have a really large softbox. That's what is illuminating me. And then on this C-stand, I do have a sound blanket because this is a big, large open space and it has a lot of echo. I have another sound blanket over here on this other side. And when I do videotape, I do bring it closer to my desk. So let me just give you, as you enter into the room, a larger picture so you can see what we're talking about. So there you go. This is the studio. And as we were walking here, I have this backdrop. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this by now. This is a Kate's backdrop. It's a cloth backdrop and I have it on 2 C-stands. It's a 8x8 backdrop. It is very nice, but it does take a little bit to, set up. And this over here, it's a Godox Light. This is what projects light onto the backdrop. And let me just give you a quick demonstration. This is the Godox S30. And if I turn off all the lights in the studio and I turn on this device, I know it's black right now, you can't see anything, but look at the backdrop. You see I'm projecting a pattern of light, and I can change this pattern to all kinds of patterns, and this helps me a lot in my photography. I'm going to turn it off. Now moving on into the studio, I do have a round table here for when I need to put some props on when I'm doing photography. Then in this corner, I have a studio stool for when I take portrait photos. And then I have a lot of collapsible backgrounds. Here next to the wall, I do have two V-flats that helps me with bounce or, take away light when I take portrait photos or, product photos. And then I have a big Westcott, I think it's a Scream, it's 4x4, and I use that all the time. Next, there are my two speed lights that I use in photography. This is my Godox 8400, and then I have my Godox 8600. They are both on C-stands. This is the tripod I use in photography. It's just a Manfrotto tripod with an Arca Swiss head. And then this is my DJ desk that I put my computer on when I do, stop motion animation. And then I have an ND Cine. This is my monitor for when I take videos and I want to see what I look like. And the big monitor where I do tethering. Hey, yo, there is me. I do have windows all across this wall on the studio, and I did put some very cheap blackout curtains that I got on Amazon. I think they're like $20 a piece. This is my view outside the window. As you can see, I pretty much live in the woods. There's my garden over there. So that is what's happening on this side. Moving on into this basket, I have a lot of diffuser papers and plastics. This is some of the Savage diffusions materials and some Lee diffusion papers. And I use these ones a lot in photography together with those filters. Moving on into this furniture piece, I do have some cloth backdrops. And then I do have a large table that I use a lot. And a fold-up table. I just finished filming the best vlogging setup, and this is the products I use for that. I do need to put them away. Then, as you can see, I do have a few more shelves and another big table. On this big table, I have some soft boxes, some straight boxes, a tripod, some gimbals, my A1 with a 200 to 600 millimeter, some props, some tools. And then on these shelves, I do have my cameras and some lenses, some more lenses, accessories. They're all into these bins and stuff. I do have all my third-hand helpers and tools that I use for stop motion, rails and so on. I have this shelf drawer over here where I keep video accessories and camera accessories and so on. And that is that. Moving on, let's see. This is what it looks like. Let me put it on wider screen so you can see it. And then looking around, I have a few more lights. The one that I film with for video, I use the VL300 from Godox. This is a continuous light. I have this other black table that is a roll table. And this is very, very handy. I put my computer on it sometimes, or just props as I'm, setting up food or product shots. And it comes really, really handy. It's really easy to move. Over here, I have two video lights. These are the SZ150R from Godox. They are video lights, and they also have colored lights, the whole RGB. So that is one, and then there is another one over here. So we have those on tripods. Moving on into this side, I have more shelves. This is some props for food photography, little dishes and so on. And then some baskets where I keep a lot of the filters. And I love these little gray beans. It just makes it so easy to store all of your stuff. I know, they're just full of junk. So those are my beans with junk. Some shelves. Moving on, I do have some desk tops over here. Sometimes I use those for photography. But here are some foam boards. I have them on black and white. If you're a photographer, you will know these are essentials. Here's a rack of vinyl backdrops. They're very easy to move around. They're on a coat rack with wheels. And this way I can see all the colors that I have, and it's really easy to work and choose the ones I need. I'll move this out of the way. Here is a furniture piece that you see has all these gray bins with all my photography accessories. And then on the top, I have like charging stations and some more speed lights and so on. So this is kind of what I have. What do I have in these bins? Well, some of them are full with props. This is like my olive wood props. This is some, white blocks and so on. This is my adapter locks, lighting system. This is some extra speed lights. This is some more lights. Here I have the stack shot. This is an electric focus stacking mechanism. This is my Pluto for taking water drops shots. And then, more diffuser. That's the mag mod system. And just all kinds of other stuff that you might need. Here's a lot of my plates and dishes for food photography. I have them stored in here. And then I have more over here on the table. Here's some of these hard cases that you can use for putting them inside of your normal camera to transform it into a camera bag. I was going to make a review on those. I have another shelf full of vinyl backdrops. I have a lot of this because I do use them a lot, and the size is 2 by 3. I have a bin full of kitchen like towels and cloths and whatever for food styling. Those are very, very useful. It's a giant bin of them. Here's those little cookies that I showed you with that light, the projects light, and the patterns. And you can change the pattern to any of these ones. So I have a lot of those. What else? Let's see. Moving on, I have some diffusers over here on the shelf. And then all the accessories for lights and tripods and C-stands and so on. This is my backpacks, my favorite backpacks, and my Pelican case for traveling. I'm actually going to New York on Thursday, so I am going to pack that Pelican case. I have more of them up there on the top, and behind the backdrop there's 2 doors that will take you to a closet, so I have more stuff in there. This is the stair entrance where we came in, and then I will give you a full overview of the studio. So this is what it looks like from the entrance. And then I will move on the other side and show you what it looks like from the back of the studio. Like I said before, just a lot of mess, a lot of tables, but this is the way I use the space, and hopefully I can optimize it and make it better soon. So this is what it looks from the other side. I am filming this just on my handheld with my phone. I am sorry if I made you dizzy. I know it's kind of like a tough perspective, but anyway, this is my setup of my studio. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions about any of the products that you saw in my studio, please do comment in the comments below. And if you want to see tutorials on how to use anything, or if you want a review or anything, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skyler Ewing. I'll see you in my next video.